Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Classic Album War. I am your host, Pete Pardo, publisher and CEO of SOT. Today, we're going to look at two albums from the early 70s that also happen to be the fifth studio releases from each band. Both British bands, both incredibly huge and important bands on the hard rock scene throughout that decade. We're talking about 1971's Who's Next? Okay. And 1973's Houses of the Holy by Led Zeppelin. So The Who versus Zeppelin. Two big heavy hitters. Two really, really strong albums, right, with a lot of great tunes. So let's kind of look at each one by one, right? See who wins here, in my opinion. All right, so Who's Next? We got that, obviously, the iconic album cover. This is the deluxe reissue that has all of the Young Vic sessions, all sorts of live stuff. Great kind of archival release that puts the classic album in with all the other elements that were originally conceived by Pete Townsend to be part of the whole Lifehouse project. All right, so you got a lot of great tracks that were kind of floating around that were going to make up the original album and its original concept. But what we wound up with, Who's Next, was damn special too, right? So you got legendary tunes like Baba O'Reilly. Okay, and Won't Get Fooled Again, which bookend the whole album. Doesn't get much better than that. And I know most of us have heard those two tracks a million times in our lives, right? If you've been either a fan of The Who or just listening to classic rock radio for, decade after decade or decade, they play those all the time, right? There's a reason. They're great songs. In between, you got Bargain, all right? A great tune. Love Ain't for Keeping. Really memorable melodic rocker there. John Entwistle's My Wife. Very underrated tune. The Song Is Over, gorgeous tune. Pete Townsend's songwriting skills were at their peak during this period. And he was always a really prolific songwriter, but I think it was kind of starting with Tommy, although you had a lot of really cool things before then. Tommy and Who's Next and Quadrophenia. Man, it just doesn't get much better than that. Getting in Tune, all right. Going Mobile, dun, 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 dun. Great tune. The Wonderful Behind Blue Eyes. If you were ever in doubt of Roger Daltrey's vocal prowess, one of his better performances, right, amongst a lot of them. And then, of course, ends with Won't Get Fooled Again. So, classic stuff, expertly produced. One anthem after another, just a great mix of just pure rock and roll, hard rock, and wonderful pop. Can't go wrong with this, right? It's a classic for a reason. So then we're going to move ahead 2 years to Houses of the Holy. All right, from the Mighty Zeppelin. Again, their fifth album. So they had some real remarkable releases before then. Zeppelin 1, 2, and 3, right? And the fourth album. A lot of amazingly classic tracks on all of them. And then this album comes out. Probably the most diverse album to date at that point from the band. You got the energetic Song Remains the Same that kicks things off. The wonderful, mellow, soothing, atmospheric, gorgeous The Rain Song. It's one of those tunes that just gets better and better the more you listen to it. Then, of course, Over the Hills and Far Away. Ultra memorable track from them. Upbeat. It's got some great hooks and kick-ass Jimmy Page guitar work on that. Then The Crunge. Okay. Kind of funky, kind of metallic. Dancing Days. Right. Another kind of cool tune. Right. Upbeat. Kind of poppy. Their little take on a reggae track, Jamaica, however you want to say it. It's not Dire Maker. Then, of course, the incendiary No Quarter, which, for my money, might be the best tune on the album. And it's kind of creepy and atmospheric. It rocks. It's got great electric piano from John Paul Jones, a really cool, mysterious vocal from Robert Plant, and lots of great riffs from Page. Using the wah-wah, and it's got a great solo, and I even like it better on the Song Remains the Same live album. Okay, but still great. Then you got that kicking things off finalizing things at the end of the album is the Crushing the Ocean, okay, which has a killer riff, great up-tempo heavy rock tune. So good stuff, right? Really good stuff. So what do I think? Putting them both together against each other. This is a tough one. I think both albums are really strong top to bottom. I think, and again, my opinion on this will probably change if you were to ask me this in a week, it would definitely change. I think that this one is stronger top to bottom. There's really no weak tracks on here. You know, a couple are kind of, you know, like for me anyway, The Song Is Over, Getting in Tune, Love Ain't for Keeping. I mean, yeah, those are still great, but they're probably my least favorites of these. You know, my issue is Bob O'Reilly and Won't Get Fooled Again. I've heard so many times in my life, and I, you know, don't need to hear them a hell of a lot anymore. But man, Behind Blue Eyes, Bargain, My Wife, you know, Going Mobile is fun too. So, you know, really top to bottom, there's not really any weak stuff here. Whereas on this one, you know, Dancing Days is cool. Jamaica is okay. It's probably my least favorite song on this album. The rest of it is just killer. I think the reason why I'm going to make my pick is because as strong as this is top to bottom, the really strong tunes on here, I think, are just so strong. I mean, for me, Song Remains the Same, The Rain Song, Over the Hills and Far Away, No Quarter in the Ocean. Damn, how do you beat those, right? And you can even throw the crunge in there, I guess, if you like. But I don't know, those other tunes, even though Dancing Days and Jamaica, you know, good, fun, the weakest tunes on the album, man, the rest of this is just so good. So I'm going to, you know what, and again, you ask me this next week, I might go with this one, because this is damn near a perfect album right here. But for today, I'm going to pick Zeppelin. God, it's going to be a split decision, folks. 115, 113. 115, 113, 115, 112, 115, 114. It's going to squeak by today. But you know what? We're probably going to call an instant rematch and have them battle it out again, because that's really the only fair thing to do. But like I said, I could probably make a different choice at a different date, because they're both really good. Okay, the fifth album by both bands, God, combined, I think they sold like about 15 million copies worldwide. This one did better. I think this sold like 3 million here in the U.S. This did like 10 or 11 here in the U.S. and then a boatload more for each one internationally. So, you know, 15, 20 million copies worldwide between the two. Can't sneeze at that, right? Both are great. So anyway, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube often. So cast your vote for your favorite in the comments and feedback below. Also, head on over to our Facebook page. You can vote on these today. The poll went live this morning. So cast your vote. Give your opinion on which one you like better over these two behemoths. And, you know, we'll see you next time. So tune in tomorrow for another edition of Classic Album War. I am Pete Pardo. We'll see you real soon, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.